Good afternoon, everyone. Let's take a moment, just a slow and honest moment, and ask ourselves, what's truly missing from our world today? Not just in society, but our communities, families, workplace, and even our hearts. In our society filled with quick opinions, division, loneliness, and hurt, I believe there is something foundational that we're starving for. That something is Christ's love. Today I invite you to consider with me why Christ-like love is not just an idea, but an urgent and world-changing necessity. More than a feeling. First, let's clarify what I mean by Christ-like love. Too often, love is portrayed as a fleeting emotion, a Hallmark card, or a feeling that comes and goes. But Christ's love, what the ancient Greeks called agape, is much more profound. It's selfless, sacrificial, and rooted in the willing the good of others, even when it costs us. In his book, Before Loves, C.S. Lewis distinguished agape as the highest, most selfless kind of love, the very kind that God extends to us and asks us to extend to others. Lewis admits that this kind of love doesn't come easy. He boldly declares it is impossible without God's help. We're not just wired for it on our own. Yet when we practice agape, it transforms every other kind of love, affection, friendship, romance, turning love from something self-serving into something that reflects Christ himself. Let that sink in. True Christian-like love is not just more a feeling, but more choosing. It is a choice to see others not as an obstacle or the means to an end, but as people deserving care, mercy, dignity, even our enemies. Here and now. But why is this kind of love so urgent today? Our natural way of relating, anger, resentment, using or ignoring others, feeds the problem that tears us apart. Our world has lost the ability to forgive, reconcile, or see beyond our needs. John Scott's commentary on the Sermon on the Mount reminds us just how radical Jesus' vision of love is. Jesus calls us not to love those who love just us back, but to love our enemies. Not just wait for peace, but to make the first move towards reconciliation. Christ-like love flips our instincts upside down. It challenges us to respond with forgiveness when we are wrong, to pursue healing when we rather walk away, and to be makers, not just wishers of peace. You know what's powerful? Scott goes beyond lofty ideals. He gives examples that anyone can relate to. How do you respond when someone cuts you off in traffic? When does a coworker undermine you? These are moments when Christ-like love feels most impossible. That is when it matters the most. Because it's actually there that Christ's love can break cycles of bitterness, estrangement, and injustice. Strong and wise. Maybe you're thinking, isn't loving like Jesus just letting people walk all over me? Not at all. In their books, Boundaries, Dr. Henry Cloud, John Townsend challenged the idea that real love means having no limits. Jesus loved deeply, but also drew lines. He knew when to engage and when to withdraw. Healthy boundaries aren't the enemy of love. They are virtually the backbone of love. Real Christ-like love is wise. It knows how to care for others without losing oneself, to be compassionate without inviting harm, and forgiving while still standing for what is just and proper. Living it out. So what would it look like if we commit, not just as individual, but as a community, to love with Christ's kind of love? It will mean refusing to repay evil with evil, but choosing forgiveness instead. It would mean taking responsibility for reconciliation, even when it would be easy to point fingers. It would mean giving generosity, ourselves, our time, resources, and talents without expecting anything in return. It would mean, just as Jesus taught, that we become living testimonies to the world of what God is like. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. Jesus said, love is just not our mission. It is God's invitation to show himself through us. Now is the time. Friends, the world noticed when Christ's love was sacrificial, boundary marked, enemy forgiven love, not just because we must, but because Christ loved us first. And we prove it to be laying down his life even for those who rejected him. That the love that conquers hate, bridges the divide, and brings actually lasting change. So I urge you, don't settle for the world's shadow definition of love. Choose the costly, Christ-like path. Start small. One humble act, one step of forgiveness, one move towards someone society says doesn't deserve your kindness. Our homes, churches, nations, and world needs this love. Will you be the one to start? Thank you.